All right, Algebra 1A students. Welcome to part 2 of lesson 2.7. We're going to continue solving proportions in this video using our cross multiplication. However, in this video, we will have variables in both proportions. Okay, we'll have two missing pieces in the proportions, and we'll have to do a little bit of distributive property as well. So our proportions are getting a little bit more complicated. But let's look at the type of problem that I'm expecting you to solve in your practice problems tomorrow. Say we have this proportion, b minus 8 over 5 is equal to b plus 3 over 4. I'm looking for the number that I could put in for b that would make this true. So I'm going to multiply the bottom left towards the top right and the top left towards the bottom right, as we did in our last video with our cross multiplication. Top left is b minus 8, and I'm multiplying that by 4. And the bottom left to the top right is 5 times a b plus 3. Right? And we know when we cross multiply, those two products have to be equal. So I end up with this new equation here, okay? This equation right here. The first thing that I need to do is get rid of the parentheses on both sides, which means I will distribute the 4 on the left side and the 5 on the right side. Distribute means multiply by what is in the parentheses. The left side is now 4 times b minus 4 times 8, which is 32. The right side is now 5 times b plus 5 times 3, which is 15. These are still equal to each other. Okay? And now this is just solving an equation like we did earlier in this chapter, where I need to move all of my variable pieces to one side and then all of my number pieces to the other side. So here's what I do. I will subtract 4b on the left, 4b on the right, and I end up with, well, just 1b left over when I subtract 4b's. And then I will also, well, here I will finish out writing the rest of that equation, plus 15. The other side of it is now just a negative 32. Still equal here, of course. And now I'll subtract 15 on both sides, because I want all of my number pieces away from all of my variable pieces. Negative 32 take away 15 more is negative 47. On the other side of my equal sign, I have just a 1b. The good news for me, though, is 1b doesn't even really need to have the 1 in front. It can just be a b. Or if you want to, you can divide off this 1 to cancel it out, divide by 1. But dividing by 1 doesn't change anything either. So we end up with b equal to negative 47. Negative 47. Okay? So this is my solution to that proportion. So it's very similar in the way that we begin the problem. We cross multiply, but now we must use the distributive property and a little bit more complicated algebra to solve for our missing piece, okay, our missing value. All right. I have one here I'd like you to try on your own. Find me, please, the solution to this proportion, where you have n over 5 equals 2n plus 4 over 6. Okay? Cross multiply, set up an equation, and solve. Then come on back, and I'll show you what we should have. When we cross multiply, we should end up with 6n is equal to 5, and then in parentheses this 2n plus 4. After we distribute, we should have 6n is equal to 10n plus 20. And we end up, when we solve that equation, with n equals negative 5. N equals negative 5 is what we should get there. Now, if you have questions about solving these proportions where there's variables on both sides and some some numbers added and subtracted to the variables, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. Otherwise, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful night.